In our earlier video, we discussed the basics of bank guarantee, and in this tutorial, we will discuss bank guarantee limit assessment. Different banks have different formats for assessment of BG limit, and there is no standardized approach for the assessment. So, we will try to summarize in a way that's easy to understand. If you stay with me till the end, you will learn the correct way of bank guarantee assessment, terms and conditions specific to bank guarantee, the BG assessment template format. Bank guarantee assessment mainly revolves around figuring out the outstanding BGs as on date of assessment. Let's say it's around 30 lakhs. Expected cancellation or maturity in the next 1 year of the limit validity. Let's say it's around 5 lakhs. Requirement for regular operations. Let's say it's around 20 lakhs. Requirement pertaining to contingent events. Let's say it's around 10% of regular requirement, that is around 2 lakhs. So it works out to be A minus B plus C plus D, that is 47 lakhs. If this assessment is being done for the first time, then it will comprise of only C plus D. This concept is easier said than done, as the real trick lies in how you determine what is the requirement from regular operations. There are a variety of BGs like bid guarantee, performance guarantee, and financial guarantee that the company might require, and we have already talked about them in our earlier tutorials. In case you have missed out our tutorial on bank guarantee fundamentals, we request you to take a look once you finish this. The link is available in the description. Now the story of bank guarantee limit calculation usually begins with bid bonds or bid guarantees. So let's understand how to calculate the limit for the same. Let's assume that the total amount of tenders that the company is likely to participate in a year is 1200 lakhs. Usually, the tender issuer takes 3% to 5% as bid bond guarantee or earnest money deposit. Remember, we have already explained that if you want to participate in the tender, you have to deposit this BG no matter what lies ahead. Let's assume this amount is 5%. So, 5% of 1200 is 60 lakhs, right? So many banks will accept this 60 lakhs and move forward with the rest of the calculation. However, there is a catch. The bidding process is usually short and everything generally gets completed within 3 to 6 months. Once that is over, the BGs are returned back to your customers and they submit the original BGs requesting for a closure. This amount can be rolled over for the next bidding. So it is important to arrive at the average maturity of these types of BGs. Let's say it's around 5 months. So how many times they can be rotated in a year? 12 divided by 5, which gives you 2.40 times. If that is the case, this 60 lakhs should be divided by number of rotations, that is 2.4, which comes to 25 lakhs. Now please observe carefully, there are a lot of variables or assumptions in these calculations. Total amount of tenders that the company is likely to participate, bid bond amount, which is the percentage of the tender. This will vary from department to department and tender to tender. So you have to sit with the company representative and take a look at a few tender documents to really understand what's happening and how much you should consider. And finally, the average months of rotation. If you get any of these variables wrong, your entire calculation can get screwed up. Now let us see how to calculate the limit for performance guarantee. We begin with the total amount of tenders which the company is likely to participate, which is 1200 lakhs. Let's say the company manages to secure 25% to 30% of the tenders. Going conservatively, let's take it's 25%. So 25% of 1200 comes to 300 lakhs. Now this is the total amount of work or the contract amount that the company is supposed to get. The performance BG required for this purpose could be 10%, 12% or even 15% of the contract value, depending on the institution which is floating the tender. So here also you must choose the average very carefully so that there is no question of overassessment or underassessment. Let's say we take around 12%. So 12% of 300 comes to 36 lakhs. This gives you the assessed limit for performance guarantee. Few customers might ask for advance mobilization guarantee. Now what is that? The contractor needs some advance money to start the work. If the contractor has availed a OD or CC limit, he can utilize that. But again, it's an expensive option because of the interest. Alternatively, he can ask for some advance from the tender issuer. Let's say around 10% of contract value. The tender issuer might consider his request, but it will ask for a security in form of advance mobilization guarantee of that value. So what's the contract amount we assumed? It's 300 lakhs, right? So 10% of 300 lakhs comes to 30 lakhs. This is the limit requirement for advance mobilization guarantee. Generally, BGs are provided along with OD and CC. This advance guarantees can be misused for double financing. Let's say you have given a OD or CC of 50 lakhs and a BG of 1 crore to execute a contract. If the company draws this 50 lakhs and again gets a 20 lakhs from the department as advance payment for the same contract, it might result in double financing. So be careful in all such cases and adjust the drawing power of the OD or CC limit accordingly. There is also something called retention money bank guarantee. This one comes into picture once a project is completed. Now, how do you know that? You already have a record of how many BGs are maturing in the next 1 year. Let's say it's around 20 lakhs. Retention money guarantee asked for is suppose 5% of this amount, which comes to 10 lakhs. Check the BGs which are due to mature yourself and calculate manually. The company people will give you their figures, but it's advisable to cross-check due to obvious reasons. Few BGs might be there which are supposed to get renewed because the deadline for the project got extended. So get the clear picture before you proceed. In addition to all these BGs, there might be a financial guarantee which is to be submitted to the electricity department or customs. Let's say it's around 20 lakhs. No assessment is required in this. This value is more or less static. So 20 lakhs gets directly added to your BG requirements. The total BG limit required is a sum total of all this limit calculated for each categories of BG. Now, let us take a look at a real life BG assessment calculation sheet. We begin with the total value of tenders, then success rate or strike rate of getting a tender. This will be used while calculating performance guarantee. Next comes the bid bond requirements. Then the performance guarantee requirement. In our earlier illustration, we have presumed that performance guarantee will be for 1 year or more. But there are certain types of tenders where performance guarantee less than 1 year might be required. In those cases, number of months comes handy. Otherwise, it will lead to overassessment. Likewise, we continue for mobilization guarantee, retention money guarantee, and miscellaneous other guarantees. Finally, we get the guarantees required for new and existing project. As I have already told that we have to add the outstanding BGs as on the date of assessment, then subtract BGs expiring during next 12 months as well. After all these battle, finally we get the BG limit that we can safely recommend for this company for next 1 year. In my opinion, certain terms and conditions specific to bank guarantees should be an integral part of your sanction letter. This will ensure that the facility is not misused on a later date. For example, if you sanction a BG facility to a company X, so basically you are supposed to give guarantees on behalf of company X. But on a later date, they came up with a request to issue BG in favor of company Y, which is a subsidiary of company X. That should be explicitly mentioned in your sanction letter. If you want a copy of my assessment note and the terms and conditions, then follow me on LinkedIn. The link is given right in the description. Mention your email ID in the comments and give your feedback too. I will send the assessment format to you via mail.